The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon. Thank you for attending today's webinar on Social Security strategies for 2021. My name is Chris Fajola. I am one of GIBA Wealth Management's financial advisors. The Government Employee Benefit Association would like to thank Janine and Donna and the Work Life Services and Employee Program for allowing us to present today's presentation. Just a quick reminder, please complete our surveys at the end, and some questions will be answered if time allows. We will be emailing a list of the questions and their answers in the coming days. All right. So a little background about GIBA, or the Government Employee Benefit Association. We're a nonprofit membership association founded by NSA employees and governed by a volunteer board of federal employees. GIBA is trusted by nearly 17,000 members and serves all federal employees. Membership is free when you enroll in a plan or service. GIBA is distinguished by personalized service, specially negotiated group rates and discounts, no obligation consultations, strength of highly rated partners or insurance carriers, and our suite of products and services are tailored to unique needs of federal employees. GIBA products and services are a complement to your federal benefits. All right, again, I have about 20 years in the financial services industry. I've been with GIBA for about 14 years. I strictly do financial planning for most federal employees or contractors of Department of Defense. So how can GIBA help you? Again, as we went over, we offer personalized service by all staff members. On staff, we have licensed investment advisors like myself. All of us hold the Chartered Federal Employee Benefit Consultant designation. What we do there is we do the extra training each year to keep up on your federal benefits, and we use that knowledge to tailor financial plans for federal employees. Most of us have our insurance licenses, so we can advise you on certain insurance plans like life insurance, disability, long-term care. As it comes to long-term care, you have your federal long-term care benefits. Also, there's plans on the outside. We have experts on staff that can guide you to see what plan is best for you. All the carriers that we use are all highly rated, financially rated. The solutions, products, and competitive discounted prices with Fed's needs in mind, including our professional liability insurance for those supervisors, managers, or those in law enforcement. We also have products tailored to your unique needs. As an example, as emergency travel plan for those that need to visit immediate family members that are maybe seriously ill or seriously injured or have deceased. On the left-hand side here, we have our list of group insurance plans. The only one we have an open season for is our Delta Dental plan. That's off to the left there. Open season starts in November. Please keep us in mind. On the right-hand side, we have the list of financial services that we offer to our members. All right, so today's topic is Social Security. Keep in mind, Social Security is just one item that's included in your comprehensive financial plan. But today we're going to concentrate on just Social Security. All right, so the goals for today's seminar include to familiarize you with the terminology of Social Security, provide you background, understand that Social Security is unique to everyone. All right, we're going to educate you regarding Social Security and the many options when claiming Social Security. We're going to help you get the most from Social Security, and finally, strategies for collecting. So keep in mind, this is a just overall kind of a brief explanation of Social Security. It's a very broad topic. You can find some additional information on our website. So let's take a look at the history of Social Security. In 1935, legislation was passed to alleviate the poverty among elderly during the Great Depression. And at that time, the program was solely a retirement program. The basic tenets of Social Security program have to provide individual equity. That means that the benefit you earn, benefits you receive. The more you earn, the higher your benefits are going to be. In 1939, a year before Social Security began paying monthly retirement benefits, the Social Security expanded with survivor insurance program. Okay, in 1956, the disability program came out, expanded to those that are disabled. And today, Social Security disability is the sole disability benefits that one may have. In 1965, Medicare legislation was passed. This program is meant to cover medical coverage when you turn age 65 or become disabled. 1972, the Supplemental Security Income Program, also known as SSI, was created. And this is for those that are 65 or older, blind or disabled. All right. Although SSI is administered by Social Security, the SSI benefit payments and administrative costs of running the program come from general tax revenue and not from Social Security taxes. In 2003, Medicare Part D legislation was passed. And in 2006, Medicare Part D went into effect. It helps meet drug costs for millions of Medicare beneficiaries. All right, so here we show the importance of saving for retirement, longer life expectancy. As you can see, male age 65 have a 50% chance of living beyond the age of 86, 25% living beyond the age of 92. Females, it goes up even higher. Couples are even higher than that, 50% chance of living beyond 93 or 25% chance of living beyond 97. And this is thanks to largely to medical advances, public health campaigns, and better nutrition and education to the public. The basic concept of Social Security is an intergenerational transfer system. The workers of today pay the benefits of current retirees and other beneficiaries. Currently, an estimated 156 million workers are paying into Social Security right now. There are roughly about 63.9 million on benefit. Okay, 45.1 million of that 63.9 are retired workers. The remaining are made up of widow or widowers or children, spouses, disabled workers, and dependents of retired workers. All right, how do I qualify retirement for retirement benefits? And anytime we say retirement benefits, we're going to mean Social Security benefits. So you have to work to earn Social Security credits. Each $1,470 in earnings gives you 1 credit. You can maximize 4 credits per year. Earning 40 credits or 10 years worth of work qualifies you for a Social Security benefit. So choosing the right time to begin taking your Social Security. So when we're doing our full comprehensive financial planning, I would say this is up there as far as the number one questions we get is, when do we start? Let's talk a little bit about the taxation of Social Security. This table is going to show the taxation of Social Security benefits based on the various income levels. Income in this case means provisional income, which is adjusted gross income plus 1/2 of the Social Security benefit plus tax-exempt interest. If provisional income is under $32,000 for married couples, no benefits are subject to tax. If provisional income is between $32,000 and $44,000, up to 50% of a married couple's benefits are subject to tax. If provisional income is over $44,000, up to 85% of benefits are subject to tax. The thresholds for single individuals are $25,000 and $34,000. In the case of married filing separately and living with a spouse, 85% of Social Security is taxable regardless of income level. So the important thing to remember here is that up to 85% of your Social Security benefits may be subject to tax. It depends on how much other income you have. So ways to minimize taxes on your Social Security. We can reduce other income with maybe tax advantage investments, but not municipal bonds. We can take a look at what future IRA or TSP required minimum distributions may be, because they're going to put you in a higher tax bracket. Maybe consider withdrawing some of those funds now, so those required minimum distributions are lower in the future. Maybe consider converting some of that traditional IRA or TSP into a Roth IRA, because Roth IRAs don't require you to take minimum distributions. Delay claiming Social Security. It reduces the number of years your benefits are taxed. If you fall under the CSRS or CSRS offset pension system, you may want to take Social Security as soon as possible. Okay. Reduce expenses, maybe pay down your debt now, adopt a simpler lifestyle, because that means that you'll have to withdraw less from your taxable assets in the future. And then continue to manage taxes throughout retirement. So again, we touched on the Roth IRA conversion. You pay taxes now. No RMDs are required from Roth IRAs. Losses to offset gains. Maybe you have some gains in some of your investments. Maybe you sell investments with losses to offset some of those gains, so it doesn't increase your income. Possibility of gifting or gifting to charity. Be careful where you take your withdrawals from as far as your investments. That reduces your adjusted gross income. And then take advantage of tax credits. All right, how do you get information about Social Security? Here's a great tool. It's My Social Security. It's a convenient way to access valuable, personalized Social Security information. So you can log on to get your check out your earnings, make sure they're accurate. Social Security used to mail out statements. They no longer do. This was stopped in 2011 for anyone under the age of 60. Now you must go online to get this information, or wait until your age ending in a 0 or 5. That's the only time when they'll mail out the statements. Other than that, you'll have to go online and download your own copy. Here's a neat little tool that you can get from the Social Security Administration. It's called the Retirement Estimator. It's just a quick, convenient, secure way of getting what those estimates will be at certain ages. You must enter certain ID information about yourself, such as your name, date of birth, Social Security number, place of birth, mother's maiden name. A lot of people have been using this for a while. Keep in mind that the Social Security Administration can give you estimated individual benefits, and they can tell you the amount that you're entitled to right now, but they cannot project future benefits through scenario planning or help with innovative strategies designed to maximize benefits. That's kind of what we do as advisors to help you look at hypothetical scenarios. All right, what is the right age to claim Social Security? Retiring or stop working and claiming Social Security are two different decisions. You could retire and stop working and not claim Social Security until 70. So you could not, you may be without benefits for about 12 years or 10 years. Just because you're retiring doesn't mean you have to start it. Let's take a look at full retirement age. You usually get this term a lot, or FRA, F-R-A. It's also called normal retirement age. This is the year of when, or the age you start your benefit, that you get 100% of your benefit. So full retirement age is a Social Security term that describes the age at which you can start receiving full, unreduced Social Security benefits. The full retirement age used to be 65 for everybody. But in 1983, Congress raised the full retirement age, which is gradually being phased in. If you were born between 1943 and 1954, your full retirement age is going to be age 66. If you were born in 1960 or later, your full retirement age is 67. So regardless of your full retirement age, reduced benefits can still be paid as early as 62. And in addition, the Medicare eligibility age of 65 has not changed. You should apply for Medicare 3 months prior to your 65th birthday, even when you plan to apply for yours or your spouse's Social Security benefits at a later date. Many people believe the full retirement age is still 65. It's not. It's different for everybody. Okay, so remember, this can change. This chart here can show you the difference between the, starting at age 62 or waiting until age 70. So as you can see, at age 66 in this example, that's the full retirement age in this example. If you start at age 62, you're going to get 75% of the amount that would be at age 66. If you wait for every year after your full retirement age, it's going to grow by 8%. In this scenario here, you're going to wait 4 years. So basically at the end there, at age 70, you're receiving 132% of the amount at age 66. All right, so here we have reasons to not file before FRA. They have something called the earnings test. So I know a lot of federal employees will pick up a contractor position possibly after they retire. If you're going to be making more than $18,960 per year as a part-time job or full-time job, you do not want to apply for Social Security because your Social Security benefit is going to be reduced. All right, so over off to the right, it's going to be reduced $1 for every $2. Okay, so that's you don't want to apply for it if you're making over $18,960. In the year you reach your full retirement age, that amount goes up to $50,520. And your Social Security is reduced $1 for every $3. Okay, and then after age 66 or whatever your full retirement age is, there is no limit. So you could basically get a full pay, doesn't matter what you make, and you'll get your full Social Security benefit. That's the earnings test. All right, so some questions you want to ask yourself about like when you should start Social Security. Here are some questions. How's your health? Is your life expectancy going to be a little bit less than others? Are you still working? Remember the earnings test. Do you come from a long-lived family? So your genes, are you going to be living to age 99? Are you eligible for benefits on someone else's record? Maybe you take a spousal benefit and then delay your own and collect your own at age 70. That's a switching strategy. Do you need income now? We may tell you as an advisor that, hey, you need, if we say recommend you should wait, but for different circumstances, if you need it now, you need to collect it now. Will other family members qualify for benefits on your own record? So, for instance, if you want your spouse to have a higher benefit after you're gone upon your death, you want to wait as long as possible if you were the higher wage earner. And again, that's where it comes to, have you thought about your spouse's needs? All right, so depending on your answers to the previous questions, you could be entitled to one or more of the following. Your own retirement benefits, again, your own Social Security benefit, a spousal benefit, a divorced spousal benefit, or a survivor benefit. That's a widow benefit. How you coordinate all these benefits is crucial in determining your overall Social Security income. So deciding when and how to collect Social Security benefits can be challenging for individuals, and it becomes even a greater challenge when you're married. Here's a break-even chart for a single individual. So what we see here is someone, we have our red line is at age 62, so you're collecting your benefit at age 62. The blue line is suggested, more than likely that's age 70. And the break-even point here is about age 80 of life expectancy. So if you passed away at 80, it doesn't really matter if you collected at 62 or 70. You brought in a total of the same amount. But as you live longer than that amount, the case for you claiming later gets even more evident. So, again, I've run so many different scenarios. If you believe your life expectancy is going to be past age 84, more times than not, it makes sense to wait till age 70. Everybody's going to be different. It depends on the amount of assets that you've accumulated, the incomes that you have coming in, various pensions. There's a lot that goes into it. But again, this is what's called a break-even chart. All right, so here is an example of a life expectancy of 75 compared to a life expectancy of 90. We have George, who has a primary insurance amount. Again, the PIA, you may see that sometimes. It's the dollar figure that you're going to get at your full retirement age. Okay, so 2,500 is George's at age 67 amount. We can see here if George passed away at age 75, the total amount that he would be getting if he started at 62 was 262,203. So you can see here that him claiming at 62, if he knew his life expectancy was 75, the earlier you claim, the better. You got the most benefits from Social Security Administration by claiming earlier if you have an earlier life expectancy. Now, that's way different. At age 90, I'm going to tell you, you want to collect at age 70. And look at the difference in the amount. 566, 647 compared to almost 714,000 there. So in that case, if you, again, good rule of thumb, if you think your life expectancy is going to be past age 84, more times than not, it makes sense to start claiming age 70. But again, you want to make sure you have enough assets to live off of. Your pension income is where it needs to be. Let's take a look at married couples. So the claiming decision is especially important to married women because they tend to outlive their spouses. Many men make the retirement benefits or take retirement benefits early, even if it reduces the future income of their widows they leave behind. For whatever reason, men tend to want to take it earlier. They say, we've been putting into this my entire life. I'm age 62. It's time for me to start collecting. But, again, if their life expectancy is going to be past 84, or let's say there's a huge age discrepancy there, not huge, but maybe let's say 5, 6, 7, 8 years, it makes sense for the husband to wait as long as possible to be able to leave that higher benefit for the surviving spouse. All right, so for married couples, it comes to 3 different categories. You have your own retirement benefit. Then you have a spousal benefit that you can get up to 50% of your spouse's retirement or their Social Security benefit. And then you have a survivor benefit. So when the one spouse passes, there's a survivor benefit. So the difference between their spousal benefit, you're still both living. Survivor benefit, you're the surviving spouse. All right, a spouse who has not worked or who has low earnings can be entitled to as much as half of the retired worker's full benefit. If you're eligible for both your own benefit and benefits of your spouse, Social Security will always pay your own benefits first, and then whatever makes up the difference to bring you up to that 50% will come from your spouse's benefit. Okay. For example, if a full retirement age is 65, a spouse can get 37.5% of the worker's unreduced benefit when they're age 62. If full retirement age is 66, a spouse can get 35% of the worker's unreduced benefit at age 62. If a full retirement age is 67, a spouse can get 32.5% of the worker's unreduced benefit at age 62. The amount of the benefit increases at later ages up to 50% of the full retirement age. So for the surviving spouse, if they start at 62, those were the reductions. But if they wait till their own full retirement age to start, they will get a maximum of 50% of the deceased spouse's Social Security amount. However, if a spouse is caring for a child under the age of 16 or they're disabled and who gets Social Security benefits on the worker's records, the spouse gets full benefits regardless of age. So there is no waiting until 60 or 62 or 66. Regardless of age, if the spouse is caring for a child under the age of 16 or disabled who gets Social Security benefits on the worker's record, the spouse gets full benefits regardless of age. So keep in mind, the spouse has to apply for benefits for a spousal benefit to be available. Okay, so again, the earners, or whoever you're getting that spousal benefit from, they have to be collecting Social Security in order for you to be eligible for a spousal benefit. All right, so let's take a look at an example. We have a married couple, and they're collecting at the same time. So we have George and Martha. George's full retirement age, the amount is $2,000 per month. Martha's is $400. So George starts his at age 62. It shows you that Martha's eligible for $750 per month. At age 66, that's George's full retirement age. Martha would be eligible for 50% of that. And then at age 70, if George was to apply at age 70, that amount goes up even more. So keep in mind, this is at the time of when George applies. It doesn't go up at age 62, 66, and 70 while he's collecting at the same time. This is at the ages of when he starts collecting. But as you can notice, let's say George collects at 70, his amount is $2,640. Remember, Martha can only collect 50%. The maximum she can get is 50% of the amount at full retirement age. So if $2,000 is the amount at full retirement age, $1,000 is the maximum, even if George waited to age 70. Here are the basic rules for spousal benefits. The primary worker must have filed for benefits. The low-earning spouse must be at least 62 for a reduced benefit or age 66 for the full spousal benefit. Spousal benefits do not earn delayed credits after age 66. So it really doesn't make sense for a spouse to wait after age 66 to start collecting a spousal benefit. All right, let's take a look at an example of two primary wage earners. We have John and Abigail. John's FRA amount is $2,000. We have Abigail's at $1,600. Okay. We have various scenarios. Let's say Abigail collects first. Her amount stays, but her spousal is $1,000. That's why she'll stay on her own and not take a spousal, because her own retirement amount is higher than what she would get as a spouse. Okay, so that's why her amount never changes there. So in this scenario, John waits till he's 70. Abigail starts when she's 62. Okay. Rules for two primary wage earners. You want to maximize the benefit of one spouse for a survivor benefit by delaying claiming. So again, what the higher wage earner delays, the lower wage earner starts collecting right away. Okay, second spouse begins collecting prior to age 70 to generate some sort of household income, able to take less from TSP and IRA assets. So if Abigail starts taking income at 62, that may mean that they're taking less income from their IRA assets to keep deferring the growth. The earnings test applies individually to each spouse. So if John was still working, Abigail, and maybe she wasn't working, she could collect, and the earnings test is not as a household, it's individually. All right, so survivor benefit when both were receiving Social Security. So if both spouses are receiving Social Security and one spouse dies, all right, the deceased spouse's benefit stops. The surviving spouse can switch over to the survivor benefit if it's higher than their own benefit. Oh, I'm sorry, if it's higher than the spousal benefit. The survivor benefit will be equal the deceased spouse's actual benefit. So, if John's benefit, if he collected at 70 and it was $2,640, that's what Abigail's would then switch to upon John's death. All right, this where it also comes in play with financial planning, for surviving spouses, is that is John 100% John's benefit going to be enough for Abigail to live off of? If not, we need to create some sort of artificial survivor benefit. Maybe that's in the form of life insurance. So that's a conversation that probably needs to be had. Again, this is a reason to delay claiming. If we want to leave as much Social Security benefit as possible to Abigail down the road, John wants to wait as long as possible, but not after. Not you don't want to wait no longer after 70. The benefit will not keep growing after the age of 70. It stops at age 70. All right, here's just the example we just kind of went through. If both were receiving Social Security, in this situation, John held off taking it until age 70. His was 2006-40. He passes away. Well, Abigail, remember, she started hers early on. And once John passes away, she then takes over John's benefit, 100% of John's benefit. All right, survivor benefit prior to receiving Social Security. There's about 5 million widowers that are receiving Social Security benefits based on their deceased spouse's record. Survivor benefits will depend on the age at which the deceased spouse originally claimed Social Security and the age the widow claims. All right, so survivor, again, we're talking about surviving spouses. Survivor benefits, death of one spouse prior to collecting Social Security. All right, so here we have John and Abigail. Again, it's, because John dies at 58. So in this scenario, John passes away early on at age 58. Abigail is eligible to start receiving at age 60. All right, because it's a survivor benefit, not a spousal benefit, but a survivor benefit. Survivor benefit age eligibility is lower than a spousal. So age 60 is when she's very first eligible to start receiving that. She would get $1,430 of John's full retirement age amount of $2,000. If she waited till 62, it goes up a little bit. Waits till 66, she actually gets 100% of John's full retirement amount at age 70. So in this case here, it really it doesn't really matter. In this case here, you actually have her taking the survivor benefit and then switching to her own benefit at age 70. Because if she did not take hers, she collected John's, and then she could switch over to her own because it's a little bit higher than what the survivor amount would be. So this is a scenario of switching back to her own benefit because it's higher than the survivor benefit. Here's a hypothetical example of early claiming. Let's say Joe and Julie are married. Joe's primary insurance amount is $2,000. If Joe files for retirement benefits at age 62, his benefit will be 75% of the $2,000 or $1,500. If Joe suddenly dies, Julie's survivor benefit will be 82.5% of the $2,000 benefit, or $1,650. Normally, the survivor benefit would be equal the amount of the deceased spouse is receiving at the time of his death, but there's a special formula that sets the floor at 82.5% of his full retirement age amount, or PIA, if he's receiving less than that. Now, Julie will receive $1,650 only if she files for the survivor benefit at her full retirement age or later. If she files for it as early as 60, that she's able to, so if she does, her survivor benefit will be 71.5% of his $2,000 full retirement age amount, or $1,430. So the amount that the survivor actually receives depends on both, on what the deceased spouse filed for benefits and when the surviving spouse filed for the survivor benefit. And again, these are all types of cases that we walk our members through. We don't expect you to go about this on alone. Let's take a look at survivor benefits, an example of delayed claiming. All right, so we have Joe and Julie are married. Joe's PIA is 2000. Joe files for Social Security at age 70, so he delayed taking it. His benefit's 132%. So remember, it's growing 8% per year, every year after his full retirement age, and stops growing at age 70. Okay, so his full retirement amount is 2,000. It grows to 2,640. He starts it at age 70. Joe suddenly passes away. Julie's survivor benefit will be equal to Joe's benefit of 2,640. Okay. If Julie claims her survivor benefit at age 60, the benefit would have been 71.5% of that 2,640. If she claims her survivor benefit at 66 or later, it's going to be 2,640. Again, I don't know, 66 or later, I would probably tell her to start receiving it at 66. Unless she has a lot of taxable income and we're just trying to defer income as long as possible, then I say we maybe defer, but 66 would probably be the answer there. All right, here are some rules for survivor benefits. In order for the surviving spouse to receive survivor benefits, the marriage must have lasted at least 9 months, except in the case of an accident. To start benefits, the survivor must be at least age 60 or age 50 if disabled. However, if the widow or widower applies before full retirement age, the benefit will be reduced, as it is for regular retirement benefits. Some of the same principles that go into deciding when to apply for regular retirement benefits also apply for survivor benefits. So again, if the survivor wants to delay, they increase their benefit. If they collect it right away, it's going to be a reduced benefit. If you remarry before the age of 60, you will not be able to receive a survivor benefit based on your previous spouse's earnings record unless your remarriage ends. Divorced spouse survivor benefits are available if the marriage lasted at least 10 years. I know some members who divorced and never got remarried, but they're currently in a relationship for like 10, 15, 20 years, and they just will never get married again because they don't want to screw up their Social Security that they're getting from their previous marriage. I have run into that before. Okay, here's an example. Divorcees, ex-spouse can get benefits too. The marriage has to last at least 10 years. Divorce has to be longer than 2 years. The ex-spouse has to be unmarried. Ex-spouse's benefit amount has no effect on any amount. I've run into this a lot. To a divorcee, I'm like, well, so was your former spouse a higher wage earner? Yes, they were. Okay, well, let's take a look to see if that benefit will be higher than your own benefit. Oh, I don't want to contact them again. Well, you don't necessarily need to call them and say, look, I'm looking into taking off your benefit. You're not going to affect their benefit. You're not going to affect their new spouses, if they have one, their benefit. But you are entitled to it. All you need are a few different documents that we'll go over here in a couple minutes. I think it's a divorce decree, marriage certificate, that sort of thing. You make an appointment at the local Social Security office, and they'll give you tell you what the benefit that you're entitled to. All right, let's take a look at some examples for divorcees. We have Daddy Warbucks here. 2,000 a month is his full retirement age amount. We have wife one, been divorced. She's getting a spousal benefit of 50%, so she's getting 1,000. Wife number two, they've been divorced for about 10 years now. She's also getting 50% of his full retirement amount. Now we have wife number three, they're currently married. She's also getting a spousal amount of 50%. So, we're collecting almost close to $5,000 here off one person's benefit. And this is legal. Here we have another scenario where Daddy Warbucks is now deceased. All right, now keep in mind, the slide prior was a spousal benefit. This slide is for a survivor benefit. So wife one, she's now getting 100% of his full retirement amount. So that's $2,000. Wife number two just recently passed, so nothing's coming along there. And then we have wife number three, 2 years as a widow. She's also getting his full retirement amount. If she remarries, then she's going to get then 50% of the new spouse, of the new spouse's FRA as the new amount if she remarries. So in this scenario, maybe she doesn't remarry but stays in a relationship. All right, divorce rules. Here are some rules for divorced spouse benefits. More than one ex-spouse can receive benefits on the same worker's record. So if your ex-husband has remarried a couple times, all 3 ex-wives can claim divorced spouse benefits as long as the marriages last at least 10 years. The benefits paid to one ex-spouse do not affect those paid to the worker, the current spouse, or the other ex-spouses. You do not need to know your ex-spouse's whereabouts. Only enough identifying information that Social Security people can look at his record. You'll also need to provide documentation showing the dates of marriage and divorce. If you are receiving divorced spouse benefits and you remarry, your divorced spouse benefits will stop. However, you may then be eligible for spousal benefits based on your new husband's work record. Or you can switch to your own benefit, of course, if you qualify for Social Security. Lots of ways to manipulate the system. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at the retirees' children and spousal benefits here. All right, so if your child is not married under the age of 18, if they're still in high school, they can be under age 19. Not married and disabled before age 22, they could get 50% of the parent's primary insurance amount. So children can get benefits. Your spouse, age 62 or older, any age of caring for a child under age 16 or disabled, their benefit is going to be 75% of the survivor's benefit. So there's lots of different types of benefits that you can get. Okay, we have other survivor benefits. We have dependent parents, not dependent children, but dependent parents. Age 62 and receiving at least 1/2 support from the deceased eligible child. There's a lump sum payment of $255. Okay, this includes most spouses, some children. Must apply within 2 years of death. All right, deciding to apply for Social Security. Factors when considering deciding: your health status. Okay, if you're not in the greatest health, maybe it makes sense to apply sooner rather than later. Life expectancy, looking at your genes, your grandparents, great-grandparents. Your need for income. If it's now, then you take it. If it's available, you take it. You got to do what you got to do to make ends meet. Whether or not you plan to work, are you going to go and do a part-time job where you're getting under $18,000 a year just because you just want to be busy? Then you could probably take before your full retirement age. But if you plan to take maybe a nice contractor job that you're going to get 6 figures for maybe the next 5 or 6 years, you may want to push Social Security off so that earnings test doesn't come in play. And then you also want to take a look at your survivor needs. If you have spouses that have a large age difference there, more times than not, it makes sense for the higher wage earner to wait as long as possible to make sure that Social Security benefit is the highest it can be for when they pass away, to pass on to their surviving spouse. Okay, when to apply for Social Security, key points to remember. If you apply early, your benefit starts lower and it stays lower for life. Cost of living adjustments may magnify the impact of earlier delayed claiming. The longer you live, the more beneficial it is to delay benefits. The decision impacts survivor benefits as well. Delaying benefits may give your surviving spouse more income. Retirement doesn't mean you have to draw Social Security immediately. Come up with an income plan with your financial advisor. Okay, so keep in mind, these are all components of your financial plan. It shouldn't just be your only income source, but all these topics, you should have a conversation about all these topics within your financial plan. What you'll need when applying for Social Security benefits, of course, you'll need your Social Security number, proof of age, your latest W-2 or self-employment tax return, an earnings estimate, bank information if you're going to do direct deposit, information about marriages or divorces, and information about military or railroad service. All right, I did in the very beginning touch on a tool that we use here at GIBA for our members. It's called the Social Security Timing Report. This is a report that can be done fairly quickly. All it requires is a questionnaire that we have on our website and also your Social Security statements that you can download from Social Security Administration. And we can put together a withdrawal strategy or a claiming strategy of what we suggest. And this works really well with couples. And if you can give us a life expectancy, we're going to be able to tell you, maybe you should apply at age 68, spouse applies at 62. This is the total combined Social Security amount that is exhausted from the Social Security Administration compared that if you both were to take it at age 62, the earliest possible. So this is a neat little tool that we've offered to our members for some time that we use with our financial planning. It is eligible for you as enrollees here at the presentation, so please contact us if you would like one of these plans done for you. So please keep us in mind. We're here to help navigate retirement for you. Here's our contact information. We have an office in Hanover, Maryland, but we can certainly have video conferences done. Here's our contact information. And thank you. All right, we're going to try to tackle some of these questions. It does look like we have a few minutes left here. We will be giving you a copy of the slide presentation and also a copy of the frequently asked questions along with its answers in the coming days. So just know if we went too fast, if we missed something, we will be giving this to you. And we certainly welcome one-on-one consultations to answer any questions that you may have. So let's take a look at some of the questions, and bear with me 1 second. Okay, I think, hold on 1 sec. Looks like we have a couple questions coming in. Okay, here's a question here. My husband is retiring at age 62. He's going to be applying for Social Security. If I retire next year, can I collect half of his benefit and hold off on mine and delay? Of course you can. Yep. It's gonna be less, but yes, you can. All right, how does the earnings test work? Okay, so the earnings test, let's go back. If you're age 62, between age 62 and your full retirement age, everybody's full retirement age is going to be different. So between age 62 and whatever that is, if you plan to work and you're going to make more than 18,000, whatever it was more than 18,000. If you make more than that, your Social Security benefit's going to be reduced. So what we usually advise is if you have, and usually, I mean, if you're planning to work a full-time job and it's going to be close to six figures or whatever it is, you're probably not going to need that Social Security income. So I would suggest just waiting. But that's called the earnings test, and that has to do with how much you make. If you make more than 18,000 between 62 and 66 or 62 and 67, your Social Security amount will be reduced. After your full retirement age, they don't care what you make. Your Social Security amount will not be reduced after your full retirement age. All right. Bear with me real quick here. Just going to kind of go through some of the questions. Okay, here's one. If I collect a widow benefit at age 62 and then later apply for my benefit at age 67, will my Social Security benefits continue to grow? Yes. Remember, everybody's is differently. So if you're collecting a widow benefit, you are not collecting your own benefit. You're letting that just grow until you elect your own benefit, and then you'll switch over to the higher benefit. So yes, it will grow. Okay, so we are running out of time here. I do have most of your questions. Please know that if you did post a question, we are going to be posting these as frequently as questions. So please give us just a couple days here. We will get these out to you. If we don't fully answer your question, please feel free to reach out to us. We have 5 advisors that can take on individual appointments or video conferences to answer any of your questions that you may have or to complete one of those Social Security retirement reports. I do see some of the questions are pretty detailed that may only be for that one individual, but still, we will answer those questions and get those out to you here in the coming days. I do appreciate you staying on with us today. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.